Deputy Chief of Staff to our State Government, Dr. Madukwe Ukebu, and the Southeast Media Aide to Dr. Orji Kalu, Honorable Maduka Okoro, here with me. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you,
Ginika.
Yeah, talking about, of course, we are still in the season of campaigns and the activities that we are looking forward to election. Now, there's this issue that came up a few days ago, the burning of INEC office at TC Alangwa. You know, Abia has been mapped out as one of the flash points, security flash points in the whole of Nigeria, where security agencies, they need to look into to make sure that there's no violence. Now, INEC office was burnt at TC Alangwa South. What do you make of that?
It's very unfortunate, extremely unfortunate. I don't know how to say it or use the proper word for it, but I think it's unfortunate that people, like I said, it's a contest. It's not something that should degenerate to the point that it is, we are hearing it, burning of INEC office. Why would you burn that office?
And about 15,000 uncollected
PVCs were destroyed. Is it not you that you are hurting? You are hurting yourself, because the way the federal government looks at every state is population and those who cast their vote. That is the way that dividends of democracy all over the world is distributed. If you go to United States, when districts, as they say, are zoned, and senators and members of the House of Representatives or State House of Assembly members are given to those districts, is based on population. So when you do that, you are also destroying yourself. And many people don't understand that. It is not good. We do not encourage it. We condemn it in its entirety. The perpetrators, I'm sure the law enforcement will be able to fish them out and use them as an example.
Okay, we are still talking. Let's look at the Abia North. You know, the last time we organized a debate here, some contestants, they came and they participated, but especially the one in Bende, Federal Constituency, the both candidates, obviously we are going to throw punches at each other.
When you say the one in Bende,
Federal Constituency,
there are so many people contesting there.
Your party, APC, and the PDP candidates.
Okay. Yeah, because I want to be specific so that yes.
They are trying to express themselves, and then by doing that, they almost threw punches at each other. Now, if the two political actors could do this, what will now be? What would their followers do? I vehemently condemn candidates coming to the studio and not being mature enough to air their views without rancor. Because the whole thing about politics, like I said, when you're in the field of play, some people tackle rough, some people are smooth, some people have a finesse of politics. If you do not have it, like they said, if the kitchen is too hot,
get out of it.
Get out of it. Don't come to do things that you are not mature to do. If I come here to debate with my opponents, the way I'm sitting is the way I'm going to sit, and I will use my mouth to flog my opponent. That is what it is. That's how it's done.
Yeah, because that particular the debate was just one event. What will now, because they have supporters, and we are preaching against.
We discourage violence. I vehemently, and I'm using the word in capital letters, vehemently in capital letters, we do not encourage it. It is a contest. After you finish contesting and you lose, you go home and you win. Good luck. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's why in my closing before the commercials, I said anybody who is planning thuggery should use his family to do so. Use your son, use your daughter. And no, I mean, whatever happens to them, it's up to the law enforcement. We in APC do not encourage such thing. We want this contest to be free and fair. We are encouraging everybody to come out that day and use their PVC as a weapon of choice to vote your conscience. If you like the status quo, if you like the way Abia State is, you make your choice. But I have made my choice. I will vote APC number 1. I will vote APC number 2. I will vote APC number 3. And on 2nd of March, I will vote APC number 1 and I will vote APC number 2. Now, the choices are there for people to make. I am a card-carrying member of APC. And as of today, we encourage people to be ready to go out that day and cast their vote. There should be no fear, because the security men and women should be encouraged to do their work without fear or favor.
Okay, we are still now talking about this issue of fear, creating fear during elections. Just a few days ago, a member of your party, the governor of Kaduna State, was issuing threat to international observers coming to Nigeria to observe the elections, saying that they will go back, if they want to interfere in Nigeria's election, that they will go back to their country in body bags. And we are talking about making sure that the election is conducted under free.
This is not Kaduna. This is Abia State, and in Abia State, and in I don't know the circumstance in which those statements was made allegedly. But that aside, my concentration is homegrown, is Abia State. Politics, they say, is local. And I'm sure Maduka will agree with me that politics is absolutely local. You know what I'm interested in? I am interested in Ibere Ward A and B.
And you know that even in Ibere Ward A and B, that the observers, international observers, they also be...
No, they have always been there, and we have always interacted with them. Listen, if they come, as a matter of fact, I will advise them to come. Ibere has always been a peaceful place. Ibere has been a very good place. I can talk about Ibere because I told you that politics is local. I can talk about Abia North. I can talk about Abia. Abia is going to be peaceful on that day. Remember in 2015, they said, you know, Nigeria is going to disappear. Nigeria is going to fall into an ocean. And Nigeria will not, if you are careful. You will just cool down, have calm. Because what they want to do, you know, rigging is not on the day of election. Rigging begins before the election. And part of rigging is to intimidate people. I want Abians to shine their eyes that this time nobody should intimidate anybody. They should go to the polls and cast their vote. If they want the status quo, the way things are in Abia, if they want it to continue, I am still going to eat 3 square meals a day. I know there are people who may not do that. I have the privilege. Some people don't have that privilege. And it is not boasting. It is just the way life is.
If they should change this government in Abia State, what happens to equity?
What are you talking about equity? Equity has been satisfied. An Abia North man has been a governor. An Abia Central man has been a governor. And an Abia South man has been a governor.
For 4 years.
Yes, if you do well, you are promoted. Isn't that correct? When you fail exam, what happens to you? You stay in your class. You don't move.
On that issue of the observers, I want to say something. We are Africans, and I think we are playing our politics. I don't see white folks coming down here telling us what to do, and I don't know the context that the governor made those statements. But all I'm saying, we don't go to America to monitor their elections. We don't go to Britain to monitor the elections. So if they want to be observers, they should come down and watch how we play our own politics. But we are saying that we don't believe in violence. But observers cannot tell us how we run, because most of them are nothing but spies. So we're not going to allow them to dictate for us. White man, white woman will not dictate for the black man how he or she runs his or her business. And that is what I believe in. As somebody who is educated in America, I lived in America, I schooled in America, I know how Americans think. They all want to poke their noses where their nose is supposed to be poked at. And we ain't going to let them to come down here and tell us how we're going to run elections. So when the man said that, he said it, maybe he wasn't diplomatic. And Dr. Ukebu, who also sojourned over there, will tell you, Americans cannot tell us how we run our politics. That is number one. Then number two, when you talk about equity, like Dr. Ukebu has said, Abia North, Abia South, Abia Central, for 4 years. Akara, they have all done that. Now, the other one, if you do well, the people will decide whether you go back or not. Now, when you talk about equity in Abia State, let's talk about Abia State. How are you going to talk about equity in Abia State when the head of service, Onyengwa, Accountant General, Onyengwa, Chairman, Traditional Council of Ndeze, Onyengwa, Local Government Service Commission, Onyengwa, Civil Service Commission, Onyengwa, and you are telling me about equity.
And I also heard that the university has turned out to the Ngwa High School.
No, it's Ngwa High School.
That's what I was told. I don't know whether it's right.
Of Vice Chancellor in Abia State University, Onyengwa. If you want to Ngwalight Abia, then don't call it Abia again. We call it Ngwabia. And you're talking about equity. Where does equity come in to play? The problem we have in governance is that people don't speak the truth. And the man who is the Accountant General is not supposed to be Accountant General. He jumped from level 10 or level 9 to become Accountant General above.
That's an
no, it's a fact. I don't say anything. When I speak based on civil service procedure. The civil servants call me every day. Anything that I speak comes from Abia State government. I don't work there. I worked there for many years as I aide to Orji Kalu, as aide to Governor T. Orji. I refused to serve Ibazo because the way he came was not proper. Equity, a kind of equity. And you have all these folks, Ngwa people, running it. What is our Isubato people? Where are Ibere people? Where are Abreba people? Where are Ozitem people? And you're telling me Oyengwa, because probably we say Ozitem, SAG, maybe representing Benda. It's only one out of many. Ngwa people, everything. And Tukebo just said it. Ngwa High School is no longer Ngwa High School. Ngwa High School is ABSU. So how are you going to talk about equity?
I really heard about it, and it really was very painful because during the past administrations, the issue of equity was measured in all ramifications, in all departments. And let me use this opportunity to apologize to my colleague here, Dr. Maduko Okoro. What I wanted to say when you raised the issue of ecology is that he was not working in a Ministry of Environment at that time. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay,
because he served in government. Yes. But I didn't want him to get into the ecological issue because at the time
I wasn't at the ministry.
He wasn't at the ministry because at the time in question, the deputy governor's office was supervising the environmental ministry.
You were the chief of.
I was the deputy chief of staff then, yes. And Barrister Ojibo, Stanley Ojibo from Ikuano was in charge of that ministry, and he should be the one that can come here and say whether Orji Kalu collected money. And not when Mao Huabonwa comes here and talk this kind of thing at his age. Forget about being a senator. In those days, people like him are called Nai. I cannot refer to him as Nai, which is a respect for him to come here and make that kind of blatant comment. It's unfortunate. And let me be fair. And let me be clear. Equity in Abia State has been satisfied. Like I said, we are going to vote APC. Uche Samson Oga is the gubernatorial candidate for APC. Fine young man, gentleman, young, the blood is warm, the spirit is high. If Abians want somebody who will return them to the doldrums, then let them do so. If they want somebody who will move this state forward, Uche Samson Oga is there to help them do so.
Okay.
Because equity in capital letters, I shout it on top of the mountains. Let those who have ear hear. Has been satisfied.
All right, we'll go to the phone lines now.
But I want to say, before you go on the phone lines, I want to say something that he said. One of the things, qualities about Dr. Uche Samson Oga is that he's coming from entrepreneurial spirit. People that have been in business, their own business, have always done well in politics. Not that anybody cannot do well, but the credentials are here. Orji Kalu did well for Ndabia. Because, for instance, the Ururuka Road was done by Orji Kalu. They're still using it, applying it. And I'm saying that there are two people. Abia is being blessed with two people. Dr. Orji Kalu, who is respected all over the world. And here is Uche Samson Oga, who has set up businesses. And a man who set an example at Onuak. You are from Isqueto.
And that combination is, without interrupting you, that combination will be a great combination.
Thank you very much.
And then you have a very affable young man,
deputy governor,
right honorable Martin Azubike.
Yes.
All right.
Can you beat that kind of squad?
You can't.
If you are playing in a football field with this kind of squad, do you know how many goals you're going to go home with? And that is the issue. And many people, I don't know what is happening.
And there is no civil servant. There is no civil servant that I'm sure of in Abia that will vote for PDP.
All right, let Abians decide. We'll go.
They will decide next Saturday. When the President Buhari gets returned and Dr. Orji Kalu gets into the Senate, things will change because a lot of them will defect on Sunday next week.
Hello.
Hello.
09065180829. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, Ginika, good morning.
Morning.
It's from my calling from Abia North.
All right, go ahead.
I beg, we will vote for OUK. We love the man. We don't need all these fan people again. That man is a good man. Even the time he was a governor, I beg, we will vote for him. We love him so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We go over to the next one. Hello. Oh, we missed that call. Hello.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen. Hello.
Hello, good morning. What's your name?
My name is Uche. I'm calling you from Ohafia.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I've heard your discussion. We love Orji very much. I am not a politician. Orji has been the only person that has done something tangible for Ohafia people. So we are going to vote Orji Kalu. Orji won last election, but they rigged it. We are
not rigged it again.
There will be no rigging this time.
Yes.
Anybody who is planning to rig, like I said, it will not happen. It's not going to happen this time. There will be no rigging. Everyone will be able to go.
Hello.
All right. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Chidebe.
All right. Go ahead, Chidebe.
Yeah, I so much appreciate what your guest in the studio has said about Orji Kalu. In asking this question that have not been answered by them. What happened to Golden Guinea under the watch of Orji Kalu? And you can then be able to accept defeat if they've been defeated. Because I remember vividly well that Mr. Maduko Okoro said sometime, I think we feel that Okezi Bazo had luck by opening that stadium. When he asked him why did Okezi Bazo open the stadium for them to do their campaign, we don't need politics with bitterness. They should calm down. But my question is, if they lose, would they accept defeat? Thank you.
All right.
Anybody who loses this election should accept it because that is how the game played. On the Golden Guinea, I think I have answered this question a million times and I'm going to answer it again. The young man who is calling, I think is the same young man who called saying that government, industry and so on. Government has no business with industries. What government usually do, particularly Golden Guinea, is to have a percentage. Because the Golden Guinea originally was built by the then Eastern region. and managed by the then Eastern region at that time. At a particular time, it was privatized. And when it was privatized, the government had some equity in it, as we say, some shares in it. The Golden Guinea will not produce anything if those who have it cannot summon courage to open it up. It is not a government business anymore. And I want this young man, unless he has facts which is beyond this one that I have, he can produce it and say, okay, government is the owner 100% of Golden Guinea. I think government has about, before I left, think about a few percentages, 13 or so percentage. And that is how government invests. Like if you go to some of these industries, you see government investing money. I'm sure you have heard it before. Golden Guinea was, privatized a long time ago.
Okay, we are
just like the presidential hotels, which also was built by the then Eastern Region government under Michael Okpara, was privatized.
Okay.
Like here in Umuahia, you have the ceramics industry, which was bought by a private consortium. So these are the things that I want, because I want him, because it looks like somebody who is being troubled by, he keep raising this question. So, because he's being troubled, I really want to lay it to bear that Golden Guinea Breweries in Umuahia is a private consortium. It's held by a private company. And if he is somebody who is watchful, they've been coming to take care of it. And I'm sure when the private enterprise decides, they will open just like Ama Brewery and all the breweries in Nigeria.
Okay,
NBL.
we are rounding off on the show. What's your final take?
My final take is for people of Abians not to be afraid. And for those politicians who are preaching violence, to stop it. They shouldn't be preaching violence. There should be no violence at all in an election. Election is a game. If you win, you win. Your opponent should have the courage, like it was done in 2015, to congratulate you. That is the way it's done. In United States, where I was trained, when you lose election, you see people calling on the phone, just like the last president called the current president and said congratulations, and everybody was happy. If you lose election, you can arrange yourself again, as they say in Nigeria. Put yourself together in the next 4 years and recontest.
Okay.
Some people have done it once. Some people have done it twice. Some people are doing it 3 times. It's not something that people should lose their life for or, get hurt for. People should be able to come out and exercise their civic franchise. And that civic franchise is casting your vote on that election day for the candidate of your choice.
All right, to Honorable.
What I want to say is I want to thank Nda Abia North for being patient. I want to thank Nde Abia for being patient, civil servants for being very patient. I know your salaries have not been paid, gratuities have not been paid, and they cannot be paid. So what I'm trying to tell you, that next Saturday, it's not a question of telling you on the 16th. Saturday on Wagaba, the next Saturday, Biano, Nda Abia North, Wagatore Dr. Uzor Kalu vote. On my President Buhari vote. Next Saturday, Agaba, the next Saturday.
Don't forget Bende.
What vote to Ben Kalu,
yes,
what to Orji Uzor Kalu, what to President Buhari. Then civil servants, Berini, Unu Didi, Anakunu salary, Orji Okala Akbaloko, Orji no Lule, data chicken, data ewu, yata, but also. That is, he's coming to wait. He's coming to help the people.
We are out of time.
You can never be out of time. All I'm trying to say is that next Saturday, all in PVC. I am rushing out. Next Saturday, after this Saturday, you got to vote. Let them Ben Kalu,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, my brother.
Oluoha. Thank you so much for being part of today's show. Good morning.
Thank you.
Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu speaks.